In this video, we're going to have a look at the plank. Super important exercise for when you're swimming or in any sport really, when you're training, to be able to get your body positioning correct. Now, as you're growing, you will find that it becomes hard sometimes to understand where your body is actually positioned in space. So that where your arm is, where your hand is, or how straight you are. Because you're growing, muscles get tight. So we need to make sure that we reset that and we keep the body in a correct position on each of these exercises that we start to look at. So the first piece that we're going to start to look at is the plank. And we can do the plank on our elbows, or we can do them with straight arms. We're going to do the bent arm version first, and we're going to do the very basic version, and then we're going to do a slightly bigger version where we actually come up into the plank. So the first bit is your resting position in the plank. So we're going to come down, so we're here on our knees, on bent arms, and my elbows are pretty much underneath my shoulders. My elbows are shoulder width apart, and I'm now going to lower my hips so that I can tuck them under so that I'm not arching my back, I'm not dipping the back at all, because that's going to put too much pressure on my spine. So from here, I come down and I tuck my hips under, pull my tummy in like I'm going to be zipping up a jacket. So from being in that position, so from being there, I'm going to basically, as if you're doing up a jacket, I'm going to pull and I'm going to be able to do up a jacket. So I'm tucking under and pulling in my core at the same time. That's going to set all of this main core sheath of muscle around your middle when we're doing this exercise. So I'm here on my elbows, I'm going to pull and tuck my hips under, pull my tummy in, and then I'm going to lift up into the plank position. Now I'm looking slightly ahead, so I'm actually looking about here. I'm not looking down, I'm not putting pressure on my neck. I want to make sure that I've got a nice neutral spine so that I've got no pain there in my neck. That's your basic bent arm plank position. So you can record yourself on your phones. Double check that you've got the right position, that you're not too high, you're not too low, that you're squeezing your glutes in this position, tucking in your tummy, and you're holding that position. If it starts to get too much, go down onto your knees. Take a slight breather. You're still in a plank position. You've still got time under tension. You've still got load on your core. It's not as much, but you've still got load there. So holding that position. Then when you're ready, you come back up into the plank and you start feeling it again. Squeeze your glutes. Start to feel that plank position. Go down onto your knees and then finish. When you're doing these exercises, try not to collapse, because if you collapse, you're losing it straight away. And as well, when you just collapse out of it, you lose all your form, and the potential is that you could injure yourself. So go down onto your knees and then come out of the plank position and then lower yourself to the floor. Yeah, super, super important, that bit. The next one is you want to be into a box position again, so we're doing straight arms this time. Hands are going to be underneath your shoulders, arms are straight. You're looking slightly ahead, like we did on the bent arm one, and we're going to then push our hips forward, so we have a straight line. Tuck your hips under, straight line from the shoulders, down to your hips, down to your knees. That's your start position. Then you're going to lift up and you're now in the straight arm plank position. Here we're going to hold it, squeeze your glutes, keep your bottom tucked under and your tummy pulled in, looking slightly ahead, and hold that position. If you start to feel that you're starting to lose position, come down to your knees, hold, take a slight breather, and then come back up into it. Again, we're not collapsing out of it, we're not losing form, we're just holding the position. We're holding it for as long as we can until you need to take a break, and then you come back up and go back into the position. They are very simple, very basic movements, but very soon that stress position of the plank can really start to make you shake, and you really feel it all the way through your core. You feel it into your hips, but you shouldn't feel pain. Yeah, if you're arching your back too much, then you're probably going to get pain down here. So that's why we tilt the pelvis forwards, pull the tummy in, so everything is engaged and everything is in the right position. So you should have a nice straight flat back, which is why it's called a plank. We're not dipping at all. So film yourselves, make sure that you're getting the right movement, and make sure that you're in, be super critical, make sure that you're in the right position, the right technique to get the quality rather than quantity. If you're doing it right, you may only be able to do 15 or 20 or 30 seconds in the plank before you need to rest. As you get stronger in that position, you'll be able to do longer, but make sure that you're in the right body position.